Good morning. We're going to be doing a 45-minute mat this morning. No props needed. You need maybe a towel to go under your knees because we're going to do just a little bit of kneeling work. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you guys have nice weather wherever you're at. Okay. Hi, I'm Megan. We're going to be getting started here in just a minute. Like I said, we're going to be doing a 45-minute Pilates mat. No props needed today. I'm just gonna set my timer so it keeps me accountable and we don't go over time. We're going to be just kind of going through a nice flow this morning and connecting deep within ourselves. Kind of hitting all areas. We're doing abs, hips, a little bit of arm work too. So we're gonna get started in a standing position for some balance. So I'd like you to start with your feet hip distance apart. Your arms are just draping down by your sides. I want you to inhale in this position, expand through the front of the chest, and then exhale, bring your chin to your chest, round your shoulders forward, and just reach the crown of your head down towards the floor. You're going to inhale at the bottom, and then exhale, engage the abdominals to stack the spine back up to standing, piece by piece. Good, reaching nice and tall through the crown of the head, inhale, and exhale, rounding forward again. Good, just try to find some ease within the body here. And then on your next exhalation, bring yourself back up to standing. You can kind of run your hands along the fronts of the legs just to give yourself a little bit more support. And one more time, rounding forward over the legs. And then slowly come back up. Head is the last thing to lift. And go ahead and place your hands on your hips. You're just going to begin softening your knees, sitting your hips back a little towards your heels, and lifting up. So just kind of warming up the back line of the body here. Got a little soften of the knees and straighten. Good. 2 more times. So you're sitting the hips back, hinging at the hips, and then lifting up nice and straight. Good. I want you to shift your weight over onto your right leg and extend the left leg out ahead of you. Just begin making some circles with your foot. Keep the rest of your leg nice and still here, and try not to lean over to the side too much. And circle the leg the other direction. So you're not circling the whole leg, just the foot. And then hold the foot nice and still. Begin softening your supporting leg, sitting your hips back, tap the toe down, and lift back up to a hover. So you're going to tap and lift. Now if you're struggling a little bit with your balance today, you can find a sturdy surface like a chair or a wall, just to provide a little extra support. Good, 1 more time. And lifting up. Go ahead and circle the leg out to the side, and same thing, little soften of the leg and a lift. Relax your shoulders down the back. Pull back slightly through the center. Not tucking the hips under, keeping a nice long spine here. And last time. Good, circle that leg back behind you. Your leg is staying straight. You're pitching your body slightly forward here, still staying supported. And then a little soften and a bend. Stay long through the back of the neck. Shoulders are relaxed down the back. 3 more. And 2. Oh my goodness, my supporting hip is burning. And last time. Good, shake it out. And other side. All right, so we're shifting over onto the left leg, extending the right leg out ahead of you, and just begin circling the leg. So I don't want you to be sinking into this hip as we're circling the leg. You want to stay supported and lifted up out of the hip here, lifting out of the crown of the head too, finding nice length, and circle the leg, the foot the other way. And then hold the foot nice and still. Begin bending your supporting knee, sitting the hips slightly back and lifting up. A little bit more wobbly on this side and straighten. Good. We're going to do 3 more. Little bend and a lift. 2 more. And last time. Good, go ahead and circle that leg out to the side. Same thing, a little bend of the knee and lifting up. Good. So you will lean a little bit over your supporting leg, but just try not to be the leaning tower of Pisa here. Try to keep yourself as square as you can. Lifting up nice and tall. 2 more taps. Last time. Good. Circle that leg back behind. So your knee and your toes are square to the ground. Not pointing out to the side. Little bend. Little lift. Relax the shoulders. 2 more times. Oh my gosh. Last time. Good. Replace the foot and shake it out. All right, we're going to make our way down to the mat. So go ahead and come to the front edge of the mat. You're holding slightly behind the thighs. Whew. Elbows are reaching out to the sides of the room. Your knees and your feet are hip distance apart. I want you to inhale in this position. And then exhale, find your seat curve. Rounding slightly back off the sitting bones. And then bring yourself up. Nice and tall, lifting up through the crown of the head. Inhale. And exhale. Pulling back through the waist. Lengthening the arms out ahead of you. Good. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Lifting taller, taller, taller at the top. And exhale. Rounding back. Good. Plant those feet heavy into the mat. Trying to get too light through the feet here. And lifting up nice and tall. Good. Now you can stay holding onto the legs or progress, reaching the arms forward. We're going to round back. Now your arms are going to reach out to the sides, not too far out wide. Circle the arms overhead. And now you're going to round your spine forward over your legs. And then stack your spine up tall at the top. And then rounding back. Open the arms. Continue overhead, and then dive over the legs, pulling back through the belly button, and then lifting up tall at the top. Inhale, and exhale, rounding back, open the arms, they come overhead. So the wider the arms go, the more resistance and challenge it is on the abs. One more time, so you can just go here. And then circle overhead, rounding the spine forward, diving the belly button back towards the spine, and lifting up tall. Good. Go ahead and walk your feet out pretty wide on the mat. Still knees are bent, and I want you to have your arms out wide this time. So you're finding a nice round shape with the arms and rounding yourself back here. I want you to rotate over to your right. Arms are staying wide. Come to center. Rotate to the left. Come to center, and you're going to go back a little bit further. And now you're going to rotate to the right. Keep your knees stacked over your ankles. And rotate left. And center. Come back a little bit further. Relax the shoulders down the back. And rotate. And center, rotating from belly button up. And center one more time. Try to go back a little further. And rotate. Ooh. And other way. And center, and then continue the whole way down onto the mat. Oh, nice work. Okay. Really challenging work there. So I want you to walk your feet in closer towards your bottom here. And you're going to lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Circle them out to the sides of the room and towards the hips. Just going to do a few times here. And one more. Good. I want you to lift yourself up and you're going to come onto your elbows. So try not to sink into the shoulders. You're lifting up out of them. And I want you to bring your legs up into a tabletop position. And you're going to reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. And you're going to slide the left leg along the floor. And then bring them back in. And slide and lengthen. Come back a little bit. And bring it back in. If you can, just slide that leg along the floor or your mat. Try to straighten both legs at the same time. Pulling back through the center. And back in. And again. Now can you bring your leg to a hover instead of sliding it on the mat? And just to a hover, lengthen. And back in. And lengthen and reach. And back in. One more time each way. Fully extend the legs, not losing your connection with your center. And back in. Good, place the feet down. And you're going to press up slightly off the elbows. And then tap back down. So a little pressure into the hands. All of the work should be mostly in the core though. It's not really an arm exercise. Lifting up. Lowering down. Two more times lifting. And lower. And one more time lift. And now you're going to lift the whole way up. Good, very nice work. Go ahead and bring your arms forward. We're making a circle with the arms here. And I want you to round halfway back. You're going to march your right knee up and begin extending it out straight. And pulling it back in. And extend. Shoulders are relaxed down the back. Good, two more times. And last time. Now you're going to add in an upper body lean back as that leg extends. And then everything draws in together. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale in. Inhale. And exhale. Two more times. And one more time. Good. Replace the foot. Lift up tall for a moment. Arms reach forward, find your circle, and then round halfway back. March the left knee up, and just begin extending and bending it back in. Good. Finding that length and that reach out the toe. Good. Two more times. Relax the shoulders down the back. And now add the upper body, leaning and drawing back in. This is a very slight lean back, increasing the tension on your center. Two more times, lengthen and reach. And last time. Good, replace that foot and then you're going to continue the rest of the way down onto the mat. Arms just rest down by your sides. Walk your feet in closer to your bottom here. And you're going to bring your hands behind your head. So you're going to make a little hammock for your head with your hands just at the base of the neck or base of the skull. Elbows are slightly lifted and curl your head and shoulders up, staying wide and flat through the front of the pelvis. We're going to march one leg at a time up into a tabletop position. So we're going to do some footwork here like we do on the reformer, but it's going to be mostly core work because you don't have that support of the bar, okay? So I want you to begin flexing your feet. You're squeezing your feet and your knees together. Inhale, lengthen the legs out, and exhale back in. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale in. Good, don't change the shape of the lower back. If your neck is getting tired, you can keep your upper body down onto the mat. Good, 2 more times. And last time. Good, now I want you to point your feet and you're going to do the same thing. So inhale, reach, and exhale in. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Make sure the lower back isn't pulling away from the mat. If it is, just go up a little bit higher on that diagonal with the legs. 2 more. Last time. Good, give yourself a quick rest. And now I want you to flex your feet. You're going to turn your knees out to the sides. Your heels are squeezed together now. Curl the head and shoulders back up. Still staying wide and flat through the front of the pelvis. And extend the legs out, squeezing the inner thighs together and back in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale in. Zipping up through the inner thighs as you reach the feet away. Good, find that full lengthened position and then draw back in. 2 more times. Good, don't scrunch in on yourself as the knees draw in towards you. Stay wide and flat there through the spine. Good, give yourself a quick rest. And now your feet are going to come to the width of the mat or your shoulders. Feet are going to be flexed, curling back up and reaching out and back in. And reach and back in. Good work. Two more times. And last time, good job. Quick rest. And you have one more thing in this section. So you're going to curl back up, feet start out flexed, extend the legs out, you're squeezing your feet and knees together. You're going to be pointing the feet and flexing, and point and flex. This does not appear challenging if you're just watching and not doing it, but it's a lot of resistance, a lot of work to stabilize the spine. Keeping yourself supported here. 2 more. And last time. Good job. Hug the knees in. Good. Lower the head and shoulders. And just release for a moment. Good. Go ahead and place your feet down onto the mat. You're going to be hip distance apart. And your arms are resting down by your sides. We're going to lift up onto your toes, so the heels are lifted off the mat. And I want you to just hinge at the hips and press the hips up towards the ceiling, and then hinge at the hips to tap to lower back down. So your heels are staying at the same height throughout the duration of this. And pressing the lips, squeezing, engaging the glutes a little, and tapping back down. And press to lift. Inhale to tap. Good, so you're going the whole way up and the whole way down. Trying not to arch through the lower back as you lift the hips up. Try to find more length out the tops of the knees. Try not to press your ribs up towards the ceiling. And your weight is equal in all 10 toes. Stay lifted at the top. You're going to reach your arms overhead and then you to imagine you're moving your arms through something that's heavier than air, like you're pushing through water or molasses. You're creating tension and resistance within yourself here. Good, your hips are staying level and square to the ceiling. You're drawing back slightly through the navel. And now just keep the arms reaching up to the ceiling. I want you to lower your hips halfway down and lift back up. And then you're going to lower the heels and lift them back up. So just a half a lower with the hips and lift, lower the heels and press back up. And lower and lift the heels and lift the hips and lift and the heels. Good, 2 more times each way. And lower and lift. Good job. Last time. And lift. Good. Last thing here, I want you to rotate your knees out to the sides and then actually press the knees in together. Rotate out. So you're wrapping through the glutes, through the sides of the hips to open and then close them back in. Find that connection there in the side of the seat. Try not to press your hips up higher when you do this. Keep them at the same height. It's kind of challenging to do. Good. 2 more times. Wrapping the seat. And squeeze. And last time. And squeeze. Nice job. Roll through the spine to lower down. Lower the heels. And now you're going to press the palms together. You're going to lift your legs up into a tabletop position. And you're going to exhale. I want you to reach your hands down towards your hip. And then lower through center. And reach to the outside of the other hip. And then back to center. So you're not reaching outside the mat. You're keeping your frame pretty small here. And back in. And exhale. Try to keep your knees in the same spot. They're stacked on top of your hips here. Try not to rotate them. Good, and now you're going to stay rotated over to whatever side you're on. Lift your arms by your ears without lowering the upper body, and then lower back down. And then extend the legs out and bring them back in. So arms lift and lower, legs reach and lower. And extend. Good, 2 more times here. Try to lift both shoulder blades equally off the mat here. I know we're rotated to one side, but just try not to collapse into that shoulder blade. Good. Lower yourself through center just briefly. And then you're going to lift up and rotate the other way. So the arms are going to reach and lower down and lengthen the legs and pull them back in and lengthen. Arms overhead. Really nice work. I'm admiring my nice little corn plant I have here. Good, 1 more time. Last time. Good, hug the knees through center, lower the head. Good, I want your hands to go back behind your head. Your feet are lowered onto the mat here. And you're going to keep the knees squeezed together. I want you to rotate the knees over to the right, and you're going to turn your focus to the left with your eyes. And now I want you to pull back through your rib cage, through the belly button, to bring your knees through center and your head through center. And now knees go to the left. You're going to rotate the head to the right. And then pull back through the belly button, the rib cage first, and then the eyes, and the knees follow. Good, and rotate the other way, the head the other way. And then pull back through the belly button to come through center. And then knees rotate, head rotates. And then drag the knees through center, pulling back through the center. Nice work. Go ahead and hold onto the backs of the legs, backs of the thighs, and just bring yourself up into a rocking position here. So I want you to come back to your challenge position here where it feels like you might roll the way back. I want you to stay here and then come out of it slightly. And then roll back to that challenge position again. Try not to collapse through the upper body. Staying lifted through the collarbones, or wide through the collarbones. Good, roll back slightly again. And then come out of it. Good, now I want you to hold the fronts of the shins, make sure there's space behind you. Try to find that same connection with your core as you just did. And we're going to rock back, inhale, and exhale, lift. And inhale, and exhale, lift. 2 more times. And last time. Nice work. Go ahead and place the feet down, and we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. So your hands are under your shoulders here, and your knees are hip distance apart. Just find length through your neck, out the crown of the head, length out the tailbone. Just breathe here for a moment. You're lifting the belly button up towards the spine. Good. Try to maintain this nice lengthened position. And I want you to bring your right leg up. Try to keep the bent knee position. And I want you to lengthen through the toes. Tap the toes down to the mat. And then you're going to lift, fold the knee back in. And now you're going to reach your knee to the outside of the same elbow and lift it back up. So lengthen through the toes, tapping down, and curl it back in. Good, rotate the knee out towards the elbow, and circle it back to lift back up to that start position. So you're going to lengthen and tap, and lift it back up, and rotate the knee, and lift it back up. Good, and lengthen, and lift, and rotate, and lift. Good, 2 more times. Try not to collapse through the lower back. Try not to open up through the hips as best as you can. Keep them square to the mat. And rotate and lift. Good. Go ahead and drop down onto your elbows here. And you're just going to tap that knee down to the mat and lift it back up. So you're hinging at the hips, but not tucking that tailbone under. You're staying nice and long through the spine and lifting. Good, not dropping through the ribs. Keep them drawn into the body. 3 more. Squeeze the glute as you lift. And 2. And last one. Good, keep the leg lifted. Extend the leg out nice and straight. And you're going to begin making circles with the leg. Good, lifting from that smile line under your seat where your glute and your hamstring connect. Good, nice controlled circles. And begin circling the leg the opposite direction. Try not to turn the knee out to the side of the room. Nice even circles. Last time. Good. Replace that knee down. And just sit your hips back for a moment. You can open up through the knees. All right, and now lift yourself back up onto your hands and knees again. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So keep the same shape with the leg and just simply lift the foot up towards the ceiling. Extend through the leg, tap the toes down, curl the heel back in, and rotate that knee out to the side and lift it back up. So lengthen and reach and curl it back in and rotate and lift and lengthen and lift. Good, try not to lock out your elbows. Try not to drop your head down towards the mat. Your focus is just a few inches ahead of your fingertips. Good. And 2 more. And curl it in. And elbow to knee. Or knee to elbow. I don't think your elbow's moving right now. And back up. Good. Come down onto your elbows now, or your forearms. And you're going to hinge at the hip, tap the knee down, and squeeze to lift. I'm inhaling to tap, and then exhale to lift. Try not to open your hips up to the side as you lift that leg. Try not to sink into the lower back as you lift the leg. Good, 3 more times. And try not to shift over too much over to that right elbow or the opposite elbow of the leg you're lifting. Lengthen that leg out nice and straight. And just give me some controlled circles. Good. Rotating that femur in the hip socket. And circle the other way. 2 more. Last time. Good. Replace that knee down. Open the knees out wide and set the hips back. Very nice work. Okay, we're going to make our way onto our side. So I'm going to have you lay onto your right side. And let's start out on our elbow here. And I want you to have both knees bent. You're lifting up out of that elbow, out of the bottom side of the waist. And you're going to keep the same shape of the leg and just simply lift it up to hip height and then lower back down. Good. Trying not to sink into the waist, into the elbow, lifting up, staying strong and supported through the spine. Very nice work. 2 more times. All right, and now I want you to knock your knees together. Your feet are going to be apart, and now you're going to keep that same shape, lifting and lowering. You will probably not have that much range of motion here if you're doing it correctly. The tendency is to want to come out of this internally rotated position. It's not a supernatural movement here, but it's very nice for the hips. 2 more times. Last time. Good. Lower the foot. And now I want you to lift both feet in this position and just begin rotating the top knee up and lower down. So we're just doing some standard clamshells here. If your shoulder and your neck are getting tired, you can lay yourself flat instead of being in this lifted position here. Trying not to open the hips up, keeping the hips stacked on top of each other, slightly rolled forward. Good, drawing back through the center. And now we're going to do the Charleston. So you're going to tap your knees together and then tap the feet together. Still hovering that bottom foot. I did this exercise with a client of mine the other day, and she was making it much more challenging and lifting her bottom knee as well. And I couldn't figure out what's going on, and I realized, yeah, so don't lift your bottom knee. That makes it way more challenging on yourself. Good, 2 more times. And last time, awesome work. Close the knees together. And now I want you to lift up onto this bottom arm. You're going to extend your top leg nice and straight. Reach out through the fingertips. And you're going to lift yourself up into this modified side plank position. I want you to lift the leg up and tap it down. And now you're going to slightly bend that bottom elbow and straighten it. Lift the leg up and lower. Little bend and extend. Good, try not to push your ribs forward towards me. You're tucking that elbow backwards. And 2 more times. Very nice work. And last time, little bend and extend. Nice job. Find a seated position, and we're just going to stretch out that hip that we just worked. Extend your bottom leg out straight and cross your other leg across. Step it over, hug it in. Lift up nice and tall through the crown of the head. Okay. Kind of rock back and forth a little bit. Tap it out. And we're going to make our way to the other side. So knees start out bent and stacked on top of each other and your feet. And you're propped up onto this bottom elbow. If you'd like, you can lay yourself flat. It's always an option. So I want you to keep the same shape of your top leg, and you're going to lift that shape up and lower down. And lift it and lower. So you're trying to lift your foot and your knee equally, not externally rotating or internally rotating. If your neck gets tired, you can look down at this bottom elbow. Good. Just try to calm your breath. I'm coaching myself here. I feel like I'm breathing heavy today. And you're going to do 2 more times. Last time, good. So now the feet come apart, your knees are pointed in towards each other, and then you're going to lift and lower in this position. Good, pulling back through the belly button. It's just a slight lift and lower here. Relax your top shoulder. Two more. Last time. Good, now I want you to keep your feet connected. Float them off the mat. And then just do for me a standard clamshell in this position. Rotating from the side of the hip to open the knee and close. Good. If you focus on squeezing your heels together, it can help you to connect a little bit deeper to the side of the seat. Very nice work. You have 3 more. And 2. And 1. And now we're going to do the Charleston, tapping the knees, tapping the feet. Good. Just rotating around this little axis here. This is also sometimes called hot potato, but that's generally when you're tapping in front and behind that bottom leg. Gonna do 2 more times. And last time. Good work. Go ahead and bring yourself up onto that bottom hand. And you're going to extend the top leg out nice and straight, reaching out through your fingertips of your top arm and lift yourself up into this nice modified side plank position. You might have to adjust your bottom hand a little bit ahead of you here. I want you to lift your leg up and lower down. Little bend of the elbow and just straighten and reach and lower and bend and straighten. Good. Pulling back through the center. Very nice work. You have 3 more. And 2. Good. And last time. And a little bend and a lift. Good. Make your way down. Extend your bottom leg out straight and step your working leg across. Hug the knee in. Lift the spine up nice and tall here. Just breathing. All right, so we're going to make our way down onto our stomachs next. And your hands are going to be right underneath of your shoulders, finding length out the crown of the head, out through the tailbone. Trying not to sink into the lower back and staying drawn in and lifted through your center. So you're going to press slightly into the hands and just float the chest a little bit off the mat. Finding more length and a lift and lowering back down. A little press into the hands, connect to the upper back and lower down. And inhale and lower. And now you're going to stay lifted in this position. Hover the hands and you're going to reach your arms overhead and then pull the elbows back in, using the lats, using the upper back, and reaching and pulling in. Good. Make sure you're pulling that belly button away from the mat. Two more. Try not to pull the shoulders up towards the ears as you reach your arms overhead. Last time. Good. Give yourself a quick little rest. Lowering down. And now you're going to lift back up into that same hover position and just begin swimming the arms out and around so they reach overhead. Try not to change the height of the chest here. Don't dip and dive. Each time you circle the arms out to the sides, try to reach your fingertips further away from each other. Your palms face the ground the entire time here. And now can you reverse? So you're reaching your fingertips back and out and around. Really connecting to the upper back. A lot of deceivingly hard core work. Keeping yourself supported. One more time. Awesome work. Good to lower yourself down. Really nice work. Bring yourself up onto your hands and knees here. And I want you to just do a couple of cat and cows, rounding the spine, pressing it up towards the ceiling, and then flattening out, inhaling. You can even arch a little bit, but don't sink into the lower back. Stay supported through your center. And exhale, rounding the spine. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, round. And inhale, lengthen. Good. Go ahead and tuck your toes under. And you're going to find a nice hover position. So you have a long spine here. You're not rounded or arched. And just bring those knees to a hover. I want you to step your right foot out wide to the width of the mat. And then the left foot out. Bring the right knee back in underneath of you. And then the left knee. So still leading with the right leg. Reach it out. Good. And back in. Good. So I don't want you here. This is not a butt museum. Keep your bottom down. And one more time, leading with the right and back down. Good, tap the knees down. And then bring yourself back to that hover position, soften the elbows a little, and then reach the left foot out and the right foot out. Bring it back under and under. So leading with the left side here, not dropping the head down. Try not to wiggle your hips side to side. And in. Last time. And in. Tap the knees down. Okay, and now we're going to lift up into a downward dog position. So you're going to press into the feet, into the hands, and shift the weight back. Good, trying to get the heels towards the mat. Lifting your sitting bones up towards the ceiling. Just pedal out the feet a little bit here. Good, and now press that right heel down, pull the left knee in towards your chest, and then lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling. You can open up through the hips here a little bit. Good. And then place your foot back down. Pull the right knee into the chest, press the left heel down. And then press the leg out straight behind you, opening up slightly through the hips. Pressing strong through the arms and the shoulders. And replace the foot and carefully walk your feet in towards your hands. And let yourself drape over the legs. And round your spine up. Bring yourself into a nice standing position. You're going to inhale. I want you to sweep your arms overhead. And then exhale, press the air away. And thank you for joining me today. 45 minutes goes pretty fast. So I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope you feel nice and refreshed and invigorated. And we will be joining back in next week for 45 minutes. It'll probably be on Saturday. So I hope you enjoyed the class, and I will see you guys next week. All right, bye.